Good evening, everyone. This is Henry Gambell with simpleroptions.com, and in tonight's free video I'm going to continue to follow up with the theme that I've been working in now the past 2 or 3 videos, really just focusing on 3 tickers because I think that allows you to kind of get the big picture of what I'm trying to do with them, and then not only that, but then you have a recommendation, you continue to follow up on it, and then we can see all of these into their resolution. So on the idea of saying that 2 out of 3 ain't bad, let's start with the worst of the 3 and take a look at Tesla. Now, I think that this is a very interesting chart, and when we began this discussion, and to give a full and complete review of the chart, you do have to point out that this chart is still holding weekly symmetry. So when you come back and look at this as being an area of support, that is a point to consider. However, whenever I have a squeeze that is fired to the short side off of a big time frame like this, I really try to not do a whole lot to the long side. You don't have to take my word for it. Look at the squeeze that fired short here, and look at the resulting price action given enough time on a weekly time frame. Look at that signal here, and the resulting move. Look at that signal here, and the resulting move. It's not like I'm trying to short Tesla just for fun. I'm trying to do it to make some cash, and of course this week it has seen a little bit of strength. But if you can get the big picture here, and you can see how these signals have resolved in the past, all I'm trying to do is use the past as a reflection towards the future, and of course make good trades off of that. So with the full analysis off the weekly chart, then we can step back into the daily, where this has seen the close back up above the 21 EMA today, and I had to get out of some of the more aggressive put positions that I had. As you follow this video series, you'll remember that we did cover part of our position back down in this range. I like thinking about the concept of RIFO, which is just the riskiest inventory to be the first out. So when you have a trade like that, that's a great place to take that off. Some of the longer dated stuff I held, obviously, did not work out quite perfectly for me, and I had to take those off. I would love to reload once we start closing back below that moving average, and I'll go a little bit further out to try and let that idea truly play out. So, that's the latest on Tesla and how I'm working through that. A couple of the other positions we had looked at, one of which was PM, Philip Morris, and this trade acts as perfect as I could have possibly asked for. Now, it is counter trend, which is something that you have to be a little bit careful with, and if I'm going to trade something counter trend, I tend to get out of it much more quickly. But you can see the levels that we discussed off the weekly chart and what a good job they did of holding. And ultimately, this trade is over for me now. When we began discussing this, it was the whole idea of saying, when the squeeze fires long, that is the primary signal that we're trying to work with. I thought a test of the 50-day would be the easy target. Then, of course, it came up and tagged the tree line after, and that was all I was looking for. So that brings that one to a conclusion. It's done exactly what we wanted to see, and then anything past this, I think, starts getting a little bit more tricky, but that's the power of identifying those daily squeezes, even if they are a counter-trend move. The last of 3 comes in here with MPC. And this is a great example of how, depending on how quick you are to get into and out of markets, you may have had a lot of opportunity around this. I tend to be a little bit more, I hate to say slow, but maybe a little more conservative with my entries and exits because I'm not trying to make my broker rich. I'm trying to establish a position, let that position work for me, and then manage it as it goes. What I'm saying in that is you can see how we had a very clean extension up here, and if you think, okay, I'm going to flip some shares there and buy it back at the 8-day, that can be a great way to trade. I tend to take a little more detached, longer term view of this, and I just held it all through it. Now I had an order up here to exit at the extension, but notice how it printed up into 41, and my target was 46. I mean, call that what you will, but anyway, I think this is still an excellent looking ticker. So to summarize, this is still in play, and I think you can buy any pullbacks in MPC. Tesla, I'm going to be shorting the next rally should we get it, and getting more aggressive once we close back below the 21, and then we are done with Philip Morris. So I hope that helps, kind of helps bring these trade ideas full circle. If you have any other questions, please let me know. I hope to see you guys in the chat room on Monday.